Hey guys, hope you're having a wonderful weekend so far. Thank you very much for joining me for round one of the 2001 season on Grand Prix World. I'm only doing one round for this episode. I know normally we do two or three, but it's such a big one. We want to figure out how our car performs, and we have contract offers to make. Now, we know our budget for next season is reasonable. Yeah, we've already got 22 million coming in, and that's most of that is guaranteed. Now we lose the pay driver money, we know that, but we are acutely aware of the fact that we now have so much extra capacity to bring in sponsorship money. Pedro Diniz has improved as a driver between seasons. Because I'm pretty sure his overtaking was on level 1. I forget which one, but he has improved. So I've been speaking to all of you guys about how we should handle this, and we're pretty much in agreement that, at least out of respect, we should be talking to Diniz first. So we will be doing that in just a moment, because I think this recording has gone to bol. Okay, so it turns out I was just being paranoid, which is good news. So the driver 2 role we will be offering first of all to Pedro Diniz, and we'll make him equal driver 1. I'm going to try and get him for 2 seasons. I'm aware that means he might turn us down, but I sort of don't know if 3 seasons is the right way to go with him, to be perfectly honest. Damon Hill's also available. That's interesting. But I think Diniz has come along well enough that he'll be a passable supporting driver. Let's see. He's taken that offer, so congratulations, Mr. Diniz. You will be retained by the team next season. Next up, Carl Eisen. He'll need a pay boost, I imagine. Let's see if he'll accept that offer. He will. That means almost guaranteed Benson is not going to accept our offer. But he was our agreed upon first target. Let's see how his stats are looking. Really, really good. His concentration is lower than Diniz, but other than that, he is the right man for the job, I think. He's going to need a pay increase to come to Arrows, a fairly significant one, I would imagine. We're going to make him equal driver 1, which makes it a bit harder to sign him, but we couldn't have signed Diniz as a number 2 driver. And we're going to put him on an offer of 6.3 or 6.4 million. That's pricey, I admit. A race bonus of 92,000 and a championship bonus of 1.86 million. I might drop that one actually, but I think no, he won't sign for that. So we will offer him a 2-season deal. The chances of him taking it are probably slim, and then we're at risk of losing out on another driver. And that's the game you always play with the driver carousel in this game. But we will extend an offer. Pay is not high enough, and the championship bonus is not high enough. Now we're getting into the realms of, with that kind of pay demand, of a much more expensive driver. I mean, that's not a great deal away from Mika Hakkinen, who's gone backwards in his time at Prost. How's Fisichella shaping up? Fisichella is half the price. Jarno Trulli's even less than that, but Trulli arguably isn't actually worth the cash at the moment. How's Eddie Irvine looking? Eddie Irvine's looking really good, actually. And he's 8.2 million. Let's just try something. Let's try a 1-season deal, and we'll try and get Eddie Irvine for less money, just as a test, just to see if it's possible. No, he won't accept that pay. Okay. How's Montoya coming along? He isn't. Okay, and we'll make another offer to Hakkinen. And we'll try and get Hakkinen cheap, really cheap. 6.4 million, which is about what we were prepared to offer. A one-season deal, just to get him out of Prost, where he can't be happy. Okay, he will not work with Pedro Diniz, so he's a no-go anyway. Fisichella was our agreed second choice to Heinz-Harald Frentzen, and we're just going to get a feel for what kind of deal he's looking for. Now, I'm aware that either driver could be poached at this point, but we'll do what we can. I'm going to make an offer of 3.7 million for 2 seasons, equal driver 1. 54,000, we'll call it 64,000 for a race win, and 901,200 for the championship. Let's see what he says. Okay, so he just wants a bigger championship bonus. That's actually a deal we can work with. We can absolutely work with that. So, what we know is Irvine's not impossible to sign. Fisichella is very, very close to a deal with us for 2 seasons. Hakkinen isn't going to happen. Frentzen is probably... he's getting on for being too expensive, but he's still the primary target. And we're going to see if we can coax Damon Hill away from the test role. We're going to offer him 6.7 million, because he's a commensurately better driver. And, well, we can't offer a bonus that large. There's very little chance of him taking this deal, but yeah, and he won't drive with Diniz either. So, very little's changed. Frentzen is still our preferred driver. The only people looking to sign now are Prost, Sauber, and Jordan. So, oh, and Tyrrell. So most teams have actually got their drivers pretty much sorted. Williams have a seat as well. So the chances are reduced of someone being poached, but we do have 2 drivers lined up for next season. That's a good start. Over on the commercial side, we are going to try and either retain Mr. Mannering or find someone a bit cheaper. Yeah, he's been out of F1 and he's a 3-star. Let's just see what we can do here. He's bigger on salary, but if we can get him tied in for 3% for 3 seasons, that would be a really good deal for us. No, he wants more commission. Commission is the real killer. We don't really want to be paying commission if we can avoid it. Stefano Domenicali's too much. Rob Armstrong's only on 2%. I wonder if we can get him 3 years, 4%. Yeah, that's a pretty good offer. I won't go above 5%. It just isn't worth it. So we'll see who we can get next round. Rory Byrne is the guy we want to keep. He's very, very expensive compared to other designers. But I think he's allowed to be, frankly, given the position he's in. And if we want that skill set, we're going to have to pay for it. He's designing this year's car. I think ideally we want him designing next year's car too. Just a moment, I'm going to save the game in case we crash. Okay, and we're back. Rory Byrne. He's going to get very, very expensive very, very quickly. He will only ever sign a 1-year deal. He'll want a pay increase every year. That's basically $500,000 extra he's getting there. Let's see if he'll take it. No, and we need more sponsors to get him anyway. I think we're probably going to lose Rory Byrne there. John Barnard is also on a 1-season deal, but our target is actually Harvey Postlethwaite, because he's also 4-star, and he's a hell of a lot cheaper. Actually, no, we have Barnard next season anyway, so that's neither here nor there. Okay. Our target here is Colgaden. He's a Prost. I assume he won't be particularly happy there, nor will he be particularly well paid. He might go backwards between the seasons, but he won't represent a huge increase over the cost of Nigel Stepney there. See if he'll sign. He was close to a deal, and we'll see if we can't get a deal agreed in principle with Stepney. If he signs for 2 years, that would be perfect for us. Okay, so he's very close to accepting a 2-season deal. So actually, we're in a good position there. We can still lose out because we have to take a turn, but we're in a good position. All the departments have been strengthened that we've been able to strengthen, so that is excellent news. And again, my apologies that we're going to have a short episode today, but I'm squeezing it in between recording sessions. Sorry for the pause there. I'm thinking what we need to do to get this engine right. And we have two problems, two immediate problems in power and reliability. I think that means we're going to have to invest early in some heavy testing to get that right. I've thought about this, I'm going to build a testing rig. I was going to go supercomputer, but supercomputer is going to have to happen next season. That's going to cost us $1 million. I think it's worth making the investment, and I'm tempted as well to invest in upgrading the factory early, so the cost per GP is lower. But again, we're not in amazing financial shape right now. We can always cancel it. I'm going to risk it for a biscuit. Okay, so that removes any late season drama out. Now let's take a look over the car. The car has problems. I can see immediately the car has serious problems. Our brakes don't work particularly well, nor are they particularly reliable. Same with the clutch. Electronics are good, but the reliability is terrible. Everything else is average or a little bit better. So we have some work to do there. What we're going to do is divide up the labour. So 15% of our designers will continue to work on this active suspension project. We're going to throw 70% of our guys on designing next year's car, even though it may not conform to the rules, because as we already know, we've got nothing to lose by making that investment. And 15% are going to go on stopping our brakes failing, and we'll break off people if we are able to get any testing done. That allows us to upgrade the chassis, which I doubt will happen. We're going to go for maximum testage. 5% of our guys on setup. 5% on there, 5% on there, and 5% there. Actually, I'm going to put 10% on the engine because the engine needs a lot of work. A lot of work. I'm just worried about not being able to get all the cars in the right. Do you know what? I'm gonna risk it. I don't know if 65% is enough to get both cars race ready, but 70 should be. So we'll do it that way. Okay. So everyone's testing everything. We're not going to have any divas here. I'm going to put I think I'm going to do it that way. I'm not confident that's going to give us all the engine points that we'd ideally like, but it's not going to affect the first round anyway. Let's run that. See what we got out. Not as many engine points as I'd hoped for, and we can't start the B-spec chassis yet. However, we can begin making an improvement to the engine, and I'm going to one of each, power and reliability, because it's the right decision to make. Let's move on to sponsors, and then we'll go back and repair the cars. So we have a team sponsor for this season. That's no problem. We didn't make a decision together about what we're going to do for power units. And it's a big deal. Ideally, we want a multi-year deal. And I don't know if going back to Ferrari is going to deliver that for us, but it's a possibility. Mugen Honda I've got a lot of love for, but it's not a works deal. And Ford, I imagine, will be hyper-competitive. Mercedes-Benz was also another option, but they have, as I recall, reliability problems. Oh no, they have problems with hot weather and problems with fuel economy. How does our engine measure up with the others? We've done alright. But Ford is still the engine to have. They're the ones with the reliability problems. We're gonna go after Ford. And I admit it might only be a one-season deal, could be a miscalculation on my part. Likewise, we've agreed to go after Goodyear. on the tyre front, so we're going to do that too. And fuel we've already got, so this is where we can start making efforts to get some big money cash sponsors. And I'm going to put 30%, a healthy 30% on PIAA, 30% on tyres, 30% on engine, and it gives us 10 to drop on Lowell Hospitality. The quality of the experience is still quite low, so I wonder if by taking 5 off there, 5 off here, if we couldn't boost that actually. Yes, we can. Okay. So now we've doubled our effectiveness. The effectiveness still isn't great, but we've doubled it. So that's good. So we will be bringing Goodyear, Ford and PIAA along to the opening race. I would like to bring Red Bull occasionally just to keep them sweet on the team, but priorities, priorities. Let us begin racking up that spare part surplus, which is very important. Our economic capacity is still good, so we're able to produce a good number of spare parts reliably. And I realise I'm spending a lot of money, and I've already dropped a serious amount of cash on infrastructure, but we should, given the massive increase in budget, we should still be profitable on a race-by-race basis, and if we're not, then we have to re-evaluate where we're at. So let's repair all the cars. And I know we don't have a testing chassis yet, but I'm sure one will come up later. But we don't have a testing rig to maximise it anyway. It's always just been about controlling wear and tear. On the driver front, we are going to allow Pedro Diniz to stay at that level of aggressiveness. I still don't trust Nakano not to put wear on the thing, so we're going to try it that way, which ostensibly makes Diniz driver 1 in all but name. On setup, we are going to focus again primarily on the performance attributes. I think I'm going to do it like that for him. And for Nakano too. We want to fit all the driver aids again. And we're going to run a split strategy again, just to try and learn a bit about how the car runs on these tyres. So soft tyres for Diniz, hard compound for Nakano. And this is Nakano's chance to show us he's capable of something special. We are going to be inspecting the Jordan cars, and we still consider them, at the moment, until we've proven otherwise, to be our biggest rivals. So, the very best of British luck to all of us. We're not watching this race because it always gives us bad luck, and we want to start the season with a positive. So, looking down the concurrence list, we have Michael Schumacher and Rubens Barrichello take numbers 1 and 2 for Ferrari. Heinz-Harald Frentzen and Alexander Wurz, our dream team at Jordan. Johnny Newhouse and Luca Badoa at McLaren. David Coulthard and Esteban Tuero at Benetton. Fisichella and Alesi at Sauber, a strong lineup there. Diniz and Nakano at Arrows. Hakkinen and Marini remain at Prost. Johnny Herbert and Eddie Irvine at Williams. Mika Salo and Jan Magnussen are on the second of their 3 years together at Minardi. Rosset and Montemini continue their partnership at Stewart, and Toro Takagi and Juan Pablo Montoya remain at Tyrrell. It's 23 degrees, very dry, slack wind. My biggest concern is the reliability of both the car and the engine. We don't have a great deal of motor tolerance in the fuel that we're using, so fingers crossed. Well, that's a promising start. Jordan have continued their ascendancy. We predicted Jordan and Benetton would be the big winners out of last season, and that is actually holding up. Heinz-Harald Frentzen takes pole on a 1:30.662 ahead of David Coulthard's Benetton on a 1:30.694. Alexander Wurz rounds off the top 3 with the second Jordan. Both McLarens take 4th and 5th. Johnny Newhouse out-qualifying Luca Badoa. We are 0.4 of a second off pole with Diniz. Esteban Tuero splits our guys in the Benetton. Nakano takes 8th, Montemini and the Stewart takes 9th, and the Prosts take 10th and 11th. Looking who's lost pace over the last season, Williams have dropped behind the Tyrrells, and they are now bottom of the pile firmly by 2 seconds, nearly. That's really, really bad. Ferrari have also had a massive fall from grace, and I can only assume that they developed heavily for last season and not for this season. So they didn't make the decision we made, which was to halt development on this season's car and move on to the next. And that means Schumacher and Barrichello languish in 19th and 16th places respectively. Sauber have gone backwards. Minardi and Tyrrell seem to have gained a little. Prost are about where they were before at the end of last season, as are Stewart, and McLaren have lost a little bit of their edge, but we're looking at a Jordan Benetton season, which is exactly what we predicted. And we have to hope we can mess it up, because we are the only Bridgestone cars in the top 12. It's 29 degrees and very dry, with a strong wind, very strong wind, for the race. We're going to do our usual pit strategy, which is to run the cars light and aggressive. We're going to have 29-29 as the pit stop split for Nakano, so equal levels of wear on each set of tyres in theory. Of course, the second set should last a bit longer with the reduced fuel. Actually, no, there's refueling, so completely ignore that statement. Right. Here's hoping for a good start to the season. Best of luck, everybody. Let's see how good this car really is. It's good. It's really good. Our A-spec car has been able to take a double points finish on the opening round. Heinz-Halter Frentzen wins from pole, continuing to show what we thought, and that's Jordan will be Jordan or Benetton will be the team to beat. The Benettons take off the other 2 points on the podium. Meanwhile, the top 6 is rounded off by both Arrows and Alexander Wurz's Jordan. Luca Badoa takes 7th for McLaren. Hakkinen and Marini both go forwards in the race from where they qualified. A lot of brake failures, which you do expect in Australia. Both Saubers and both Stewarts, and one of the McLarens suffered a brake failure. Both Williams... one Williams, Eddie Irvine's Williams, was out due to an accident, which apparently took place with Michael Schumacher's Ferrari. The last finishers were Johnny Herbert in 15th and Rubens Barrichello in 14th, who were 2 laps down with the Tyrrells. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting season. I could see us moving forward conservatively. Got to remember, our drivers still aren't pushing. We could have pushed a bit harder and maybe had a reliability failure, but I imagine we could, looking at this time differential, we could be mixing it with the Benettons if we were a bit more aggressive, and maybe that's something we should look at. It depends how much wear we're putting on the car. Heinz-Halter Frentzen leads the Drivers' Championship, and we sit a comfortable 3rd, which may or may not last on 4 points, 6 points behind Benetton in 2nd. All 3 of these teams got a double points finish, which is a pretty good start for us. Let's take a look at who's willing to play ball. Ford will only offer us a partner deal. Goodyear will offer a 2-season works deal. That's exactly what we were hoping for. And a 1-season deal is on the cards from PIAA. We're going to drop immediately this success ticket on Goodyear, and we're going to terminate negotiations with Ford. That's not an acceptable deal for us at all. And I think we're going to go back to Ferrari. I think that's the right decision to make. If we can't get a works deal from Ford, then that leaves Peugeot, Ferrari, and Mercedes-Benz. And we've not really given Peugeot much of a chance, but they match Ferrari for budget, but they're worse for research and development. We could maybe look at Mercedes, but I think the competition's going to be pretty tight up there. The good news is, though, that people are willing to talk to us in a way that previously they have not been. So that's something. You guys let me know between episodes if Ferraris... I'm not going to run the second round, so this will make no difference. If you want to go after Mercedes or Peugeot instead, now is the time to speak up. Over on the design office, let's see how well our new head designer's getting on. Okay, active suspension has been homologated, so we can build that. That's good. That's going to be another performance gain. We're going to drop the extra guys in the technology team because they've got work to do, real work to do. And it seems actually we're making good progress on the AR2002A. How's the wear? 52% wear on both race cars is pretty high, but not as terrible as I was expecting. We're going to build a new driver aid before I forget. And we're going to run testing in this episode to see if we can start on an upgrade package. How is our money looking? We lost 1.5 million euros, euro dollars. That's not good. So we need to take a look very, very urgently at what our income and outcome has been. So we've received 2.3 million between rounds and spent 3.8 million. Now, a large amount of that was testing, 700,000, and staff costs, 1 million. Okay. So we are going to have to readjust our priorities here. That's for sure. First of all, we're spending almost 1 million on hospitality. That means we're going to have to cut our hospitality spending, which is fine. So we can take it from 579,000 quite comfortably down to 417,000. It's not a huge saving, but it's a saving. And this is exactly what I was hoping for, right? This is the team in financial trouble, which we've not seen so far. We've not had to pay anything out for engines or tyres, but we are paying for fuel. Testing was the other big expense, as is the factory upgrade. Staffing costs, driver costs, and transportation. Now, most of our money is actually still coming from the pay drivers, which is interesting. Yeah, let's see how we can do this. What I'm going to do is... I'm not going to get credit. I'm not sure selling 5% of the team at that price is amazing value, but yeah. So that boosts our budget at least to enable us to do another big test, because that is important. And that's 700k, but I think now's the time to make that investment. We've got the engine to worry about, and we have to move forward to get more prize money. So worst that happens is we can take out a 10 million loan, which should get us through 10 rounds of the championship and make cost cutting elsewhere. But it means we do need to chase the Works Tyres deal. We need to chase the big money sponsors. We need to monitor wear and tear on the cars, and we need to try and use economies of scale. You'll see that the more parts we build, the cheaper they get between rounds. You'll notice that cost comes down as we produce more and more and more across the season. So we're going to have to try and bring our operating costs down by investing early. We have specification, well, Evolution 2 Peugeot engine has arrived. Let us test as though it's 1999. And that's going to look painful. It's 1.6 million straight away. But it means we can begin work on evolving our car. We're at 60% of possible performance right now, which is a very, very good sign. Remember, we qualified 6th and 8th, we finished 4th and 6th. So the car is already competitive, and any gains we make are going to pay dividends, and they're going to pay dividends the earlier we bring them in. We've already brought in an Evolution 2 of our active suspension system, which is the biggest possible gain you can make from a driver aid, and we're going to have to start addressing our technology problems. Let's now evolve that engine further. And again, we're going to go for that. and I will cut it here. Thanks very much for joining me. Have a great weekend, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.